Celebrity breakups can get super messy, and stars like Brianna Chicken Fry, Zayn Malik, and Lindsay Lohan know exactly what I'm talking about. So Brianna Chicken Fry is done with men after her split with Zach Bryan. After admitting to being blindsided by the breakup, the podcaster took to social media on Saturday, October 26th to reassure her followers that she was doing okay. Literally saying, "I'm literally so fine, besties," in her Instagram story, adding that F men and, K-word, am all, LMAO. She also shared that her friend had sent her cupcakes to deal with the breakup, which meant to read his loss, but instead had a typo, so they read his lose, which I find hilarious. And she further touched on the split in other posts in her Instagram story, saying, "Remember when I put my life on pause for a man? Forgive me, I'm only human." So on Tuesday, October 22nd, Bryan confirmed that he and Brianna had split after 1 year of dating. And he said, and I quote, "Addressing something, Brianna and me have broken up with one another, and I respect and love her with every ounce of my heart. She has loved me unconditionally for a very long time, and for that I'll always thank her." So that was his Instagram story, and he continued on by saying, "I've had an incredibly hard year personally and struggled through some pretty severe things. I thought it would be beneficial for both of us to go our different ways. I am not perfect and never will be." The country singer then urged fans to give the former couple space to navigate through the breakup in privacy, saying, "If you have it in your heart, mine too, with everything I am, and to anyone I let down, I am sorry. I try my best in everything. I failed people that love me and mostly myself." And Brianna responded via her Instagram stories by saying she didn't see this public post coming, saying, "Hey guys, I'm feeling really blindsided right now. Gonna hop off social media for a while and attempt to heal privately. When I'm ready, I'll be back and ready to talk. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your kind words. Remember, you are so loved and everything's always gonna be okay." And then she posted a YouTube video soon afterwards saying, "How can you give every ounce of yourself to someone and then be discarded of in a few days? It's really, really heartbreaking, and I don't want to talk about details right now." And valid, girl. Valid. That was so awful. Perry Edwards and Zayn Malik first met in 2011, started dating in 2012, before getting engaged in 2013, and they split in August of 2015, and the breakup was nothing short of an earthquake in the world of showbiz. Directioners, you know what I'm talking about. It rocked my internet. People magazine was the first to release the news of the split on August 4th, stating that Zayn had contacted Perry 2 weeks prior and said it was over. And Perry was pictured around the same time, posing without her ring. She was hanging out with her bandmates, and we were like, "Oh my god, girl, what's going on?" Now, she was the first to speak out following the split during a Little Mix performance in LA just a couple of days after the news was released. At the time, Zayn was still yet to publicly comment on the breakup, but he did break his Twitter silence with a random photograph of a flower on a piano. And the former One Direction star then shared a series of tweets complaining that you just can't do enough for some people. And the following week, fans were devastated that the ex-couple's incredible home had been put on the market, which kind of confirmed that they were definitely over, even though they just bought that house 2 months prior. Insiders claimed that Zayn had already asked Perry to move her belongings out of the home. Things began to turn sour between the two in August when Zayn dissed Perry's band with a retweet from Shady Music Facts that read, "Which is a better single? Retweet, Fifth Harmony's Worth It, favorite Little Mix's #1 hit Black Magic." So that retweet was seen as a real snub to his ex and introduced the Zayn has no chill hashtag. Ooh, I'm getting memories, folks. The turn of events came after Perry's bandmate Jade made off with a fan sign in Arizona that read, "Zayn is irrelevant anyways." And again, at another gig in Salt Lake City, Jesse pointed to Perry during the line of Black Magic that goes, "Crystal ballin' just to help him see what he's been missing." And in an excerpt from Little Mix's book, Our World, Perry revealed that Zayn actually broke up with her after 4 years via text, saying, "It was horrible, the worst time of my life. A 4-year relationship, 2-year engagement ended by a simple text message. Just like that. Even though things in my career were going really well, it was incredibly difficult for me." But she said the girls were amazing, like her bandmates. They'd have sleepovers, they'd get her favorite desserts, they'd do everything they could to cheer her up. She surrounded herself with friends and family because she didn't want to be alone, because when she was, she started thinking about things and getting upset. And in March of 2016, Zayn actually admitted to cheating on Perry on his album track She Don't Love Me, with lyrics, "I think I know she don't love me, that's why I F around." Now, it seemed like the final nail in this whole coffin of things came in August of 2016 when Zayn had his tattoo of Perry covered up. Jelena, the OG on-again, off-again couple, have been involved in a lot of drama ever since they first started dating in 2010. And even, I don't know how many years it's been now since they split, but the media frenzy has not stopped. The pair are always taking jabs at each other on social media. So I think it started, correct me if I'm wrong, with Justin Bieber posting photos on Insta of his, then girlfriend, Sophia Richie. at the time. Fans fled to the comment section, sending hate towards Sophia, and then Justin, I think threatened to turn his Insta private. And then Selena entered the Instagram feud being like, if you can't handle the hate, then stop posting pictures of your girlfriend, lol. It should be special between you two only. Don't be mad at your fans. They love you and supported you before anyone ever did. Now, of course, Justin wasn't going to ignore this, and he responded by commenting, it's funny to see people that used me for attention and still try to point the finger this way. Sad, all love. And then Selena followed up with, funny how the ones who cheated multiple times are pointing the finger at the ones that were forgiving and supportive. No wonder fans are mad. Sad, all love. Look, things were really heated and it never ended. It's still going on to this day. Even with their current partners, it's just madness. Utter madness, and I don't think it'll ever not be a topic of public discourse. Sadly. Lindsay Lohan had a very interesting relationship with DJ Samantha Ronson back in 2009. Now, originally these two women were just friends, but things got romantic I think around 2008 into 2009, so they had made several public appearances together. And while they never tried to hide their relationship, they never directly confirmed that they were an item, but Lindsay did eventually make the situation clear during an interview with Harper's Bazaar, where she said, I think it's pretty obvious who I'm seeing. I think it's no shock to anyone that it's been going on for quite some time. She's a wonderful person and I love her very much. This romance was very on again, off again, and the couple split for good in April of 2009, and it was really messy. Sources told People magazine that Sam had changed the lock in her house and banned Lindsay from attending her sister's fashion event after the breakup. In an interview, Lindsay alleged that Samantha had hired 5 bodyguards to keep her away from the hotel bar she was in, so the actress didn't cause a scene after they had a fight. Lindsay also shared some tweets saying that being cheated does wonders to you. I'm doing this publicly because you and your friends call People magazine. So you win, you broke my heart, now go away, I loved you. Followed by, please leave me alone and stop staying in the room below me, you've woken me and my mother up, go to bed, keep cheating, you win. Whew. Well, in an interview with US Weekly, Lindsay admitted that that was the worst night of her life. And yeah, I don't blame you, girl, that's just so messy. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson were together for 4 months, and they even got engaged in that short time span before calling it quits in 2018. And although the split appeared kind of cordial at the time, the pair did later take a couple of personal jabs at each other through various media appearances. In 2019, Ariana appeared on the front cover of Vogue and discussed the whole thing, and admitted that, sure, the SNL star was an amazing distraction, it was frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic, and I loved him and I didn't know him. Ouch. Of course, Pete didn't take being labeled as a distraction too well. On his Netflix stand-up special, that's I believe called Pete Davidson, A Live from New York, he responded with, can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow if I spray painted myself and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started crapping on my ex. So Ben Affleck is determined to make sure his messy divorce with Jennifer Lopez isn't gonna impact his new movie. You've heard of Unstoppable, right? He also doesn't want it to prevent his ex from getting the praise she deserves for her performance in the upcoming flick. Sure, that sounds like a bit of a mixed bag of a statement, but bear with me, folks. The actor rekindled his romance with the On the Floor singer back in 2021, and then fans were heartbroken when JLo filed for divorce in August of this year, following the months and months and months of speculation that their 2-year-long marriage had crumbled. And if you've been around for a hot minute, you know what I mean when I say months and months and months of signs. I think I've still got a Google alert for JLo. Despite the pair still working out the terms of their divorce, they've been forced to forge ahead on a professional level because they worked together on this film. They worked also with Ben Affleck's best friend, Matt Damon. So on Sunday, Ben Affleck broke his silence in the wake of the split to praise JLo's spectacular performance because, and I quote, he is adamant about keeping things civil. We've got a statement, folks. Ben wants Unstoppable to be a major hit, and for JLo to receive as many accolades as she deserves for it. Sure, that insider source isn't totally just a PR person disguising themselves as a bestie leaking insider scoop or anything. Ben doesn't want the relationship ruining any buzz for the movie and her performance. He wants it to stand on its own. Translation, he's commenting on it now to maybe avoid getting asked about it 1,000 times during press. But the insider continues, he knows that he's going to be asked about Jen during media appearances. Wow, I'm a psychic. He's adamant about keeping it very civil. He truly believes she nailed it. Ben's a filmmaker and an Oscar winner. He knows what works. He always thought JLo would be incredible. Okay, enough with the scripted nonsense. Now, there's another source that's claiming that Ben Affleck, which, by the way, his daughter Violet, still very close with JLo, is aware that any comment he makes about his ex is undoubtedly going to make headlines in the coming weeks, and his family's going to see it, but he has no plans to elaborate. Ben obviously has a lot of loose ends to tie up with JLo, but he's proud of her performance. He also knows how much weight his comments have, and if Ben says his ex-wife is good, then she must be good and people will watch the film. This is the first and only thing he has to say about her split, and well, that's all he's gonna say. Great, glad we got all that out of the way. Now, the source did add that Ben and his producing partner know better than any that attempting any sort of avoidance tactics isn't gonna happen. Make no mistake about it, this film was a huge investment for Ben and Matt. They can't not comment on a star's performance when they're in a lead role in the film they produced. So yeah, okay, fair point, I'll give them that. The 1 point you get, sir. The two-time Oscar winner made the comments, by the way, in an interview with Entertainment Tonight. He was joined by Damon, and he said Jennifer is spectacular in the role of Judy in the sports drama. Other than that, Ben Affleck's been staying pretty quiet in the wake of the marriage breakdown. But JLo did give new insight recently. I think it was a sit-down with Nikki Glaser for Interview Magazine. She described her heartbreak as sad and scary. Now, I don't think she named Ben by name, but she did say she's not looking for anybody right now, and she did suggest that her ex did not embrace all of her flaws. It happens. Now, if you want to break down the relationship timeline, I got you. So in April of 2021, there was reports surfacing that the two were reconnecting. So this was right after JLo broke up with Alex Rodriguez, you know, the baseball star? So the couple confirmed the relationship on Instagram that July, made their red carpet return at the Venice Film Festival, and then they exchanged vows at the Little White Chapel in Vegas on July 16th of 2022, because nothing says romance like Vegas. So after Ben Affleck moved out of the $68 million mansion he shared with JLo and into his own rental bachelor pad in California this year, a lot of friends were worried that he might relapse because of the strain of such a public split. And news outlets did report at the time that JLo turned to Jennifer Garner, Ben's last wife, for help because, well, she could offer advice. So we got Bennifer 1.0, Bennifer 2.0, folks. Keep track. So Ben was reportedly upset by the news that people were worried about him relapsing. Yeah, he tried to avoid reading the news, but it did upset him because folks thought he relapsed, but he hadn't. There was a source that was very adamant saying that, like every addict, Ben just woke up with one goal in mind: to stay sober for that day. Apparently the tough fallout from this split helped to show Ben how important it is to never jeopardize his sobriety. And you know what? All the props to you, pal, for keeping up with it. It's a great thing. Now, it's not unusual once you break up with somebody, you're gonna go for a bit of an image change. You're gonna go for your glow up. But apparently JLo is taking Ben's glow up a little personally, and I'm gonna elaborate why, because it does make sense. So Ben's been spotted out and about. He's had this like noticeably darker hair, noticeably darker beard, and a lot of folks are like, oh, did you like dye your grays? Did we get some touch-ups going? Apparently he's also looking buffer, you know, he's looking great. And the makeover kinda got JLo feeling offended. Why? Well, she's infuriated that he's only started looking after himself now that she's not around to reap the benefits. There's one insider that was like, yeah, he's going out of his way to pamper himself, look his absolute best. He's, you know, dyeing his hair, he's getting manicures, he's getting waxed, which like, okay, props to you, buddy. He's even getting hair plugs and seeing a dermatologist. Well, he wants to get skin treatments, he wants to turn back the clock. And JLo is seeing red, because these are all the things she wanted him to do when they were together, and he said no. Like, this isn't just like a little day trip to the salon. Apparently he's having like a whole lifestyle overhaul. Which I know, we're all gonna miss the Dunkin' photos. But apparently Jen was begging him their entire relationship to take better care of himself. So now she's feeling kind of wounded because it's like, oh, he's just doing this for revenge. Apparently even his diet is cleaner. He's cut out a ton of junk. And JLo's like, yeah, this feels like a slap in the face. It's sending the message to her that she wasn't worth making these changes for. But now that he's single and he's looking to impress new women, he's willing to like step it up. He wants to stop being such a slob. And like, yeah, I'm sure she loved him even though he was a slob, but she wanted him to be his best self. Despite the divorce not being completely finalized, Ben has already been linked to other women. I think he was spotted with JFK's great niece. But apparently, you know, he's saying this whole thing isn't like just to get a new woman. He's insisting, and this had nothing to do with JLo. He's just getting back to his old self. He felt micromanaged in the relationship. He grew tired of trying to impress her. He's tired of living up to her standards. Now he's taking advantage of the freedom to do what he wants. But the irony is, now that she isn't telling him what to do, he's realizing she wasn't entirely wrong. Ben wants to look and feel his best. He's looking to get on the dating scene. And JLo's watching all this unfold with a mixture of frustration, disbelief, because like, she just wanted him to be his best self. Especially since they both exist in the public eye. It makes sense. It bothers her to see him making all these improvements, knowing that somebody else is gonna benefit from the effort that she helped inspire. Now obviously her inner circle is just like, look, he's a middle-aged fool, he doesn't deserve you. But like, obviously she's gonna feel a little hurt. How is she cheering herself up? Well, retail therapy, can't go wrong. You know, she's spending an outrageous amount of money on a variety of things. She's also beefing up her entourage, which means sure, surrounded by a million friends, but then you're spending triples because like, if I go somewhere, you're all coming with me. I want people around me to tell me this, that, yay, yay. There were news outlets that did report that she's throwing around money like she's a billionaire. She's not. According to news reports, JLo was spending $100,000 per day for a while on designer clothes for herself and her entourage. And like, look, I get it, spend your money, but $100,000 a day is a lot of money. And the way she was hemorrhaging that money, it's kind of madness. Sure, she says it makes her happy, and like, I get it, the dopamine from retail therapy is great, but like, look girl, you're worth $400 million, and if your financial team is kind of worried about your spending, then it might be time to like, spend a little less. Think about it, she's got this divorce to settle, which could cost her like $50 million. She needs a new home. And yeah. So even though Cher and Sonny's marriage lasted less than a decade, their musical hits have stood the test of time. But here's the thing, Cher's got a new memoir and she's talked about the success of her creative partnership with her late husband wasn't actually equally shared between the two. She said, "It wasn't passionate, I just loved him. He made me laugh and we had a dream." Now that dream led Sonny and Cher to multiple hit songs in the 1960s, including the infamous I Got You Babe, and later the popular Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, which featured the couple's banter, live performances, and a glamorous Cher. Now, Cher said, when they started to realize that people were tuning in because of what she was wearing, everybody just gave them all the money they needed. Now, apparently it was around this time that Bono began to change. She said he started just not to care about her. He was jealous, and things ramped up after a guitarist she identified as Bill kissed her and Bono found out. She wrote in her book that she told Sonny that she wanted to sleep with the guitarist. She said, "It all seems crazy now, I didn't mean it, but I thought saying those words was the only way that he would let me go." She said, "I thought if I do this, it's over. He's not going to be able to come back. We're not going to be able to be Sonny and Cher. I just want to blow it up." But I didn't know I wanted to blow it up until I was blowing it up. Cher said she was offered whatever she'd wanted to stay with Sonny and opted for her own place in Malibu and $5,000 a month. Well, 2 years later, she said she had a shocking discovery when her then boyfriend, music executive David Geffen, got a hold of her contract. Sonny owned 95% of the company and his lawyer owned the other 5%. And it was called Cher Enterprises, but Cher owned nothing. And by that point, Sonny and Cher had worked together for almost 12 years. So obviously she confronted Sonny and she was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "I always knew you'd leave me." And Cher was like, "Well, that's not a reason. How could you do it? I was there by your side working all those nights, all those days, through good, through bad." And Sonny just didn't have an answer. So the award for the celebrity who most horrendously misjudged how the public would react to his divorce last year goes to, drumroll please, Joe Jonas. Before he even filed the paperwork, he seemingly went straight to the tabloids, leaking through sources that he was planning to divorce his wife of 4 years, Sophie Turner, that he believed she had all but abandoned the couple's 2 daughters to film this TV show in the UK, and that she had said or done something unforgivable on the couple's Ring camera. Now, for the record, Joe technically denies leaking anything to the tabloids, and it's still not clear what exactly he saw on the Ring camera or why he was using it to spy on his wife in the first place. Well, after this tabloid mess went over poorly with fans, and I'm talking like a lead balloon, he took to crying on stage during tour stops around the US. On the flip side, Sophie filed her own lawsuit accusing Joe of holding her daughters hostage and refusing to send them back to England with her. The petition, by the way, that she filed was literally filed under the abduction clauses of the Hague Convention. So then she made a point of getting paparazzi snapped in New York with Joe's most famous ex-girlfriend, Taylor Swift. Now, thankfully, things have calmed down since then. Both parties agreed to a custody arrangement that allowed for the daughters to travel back and forth between the US and the UK, but for a hot minute, things were looking real messy. The Bear star Jeremy Allen White's split from his longtime partner Addison Timlin did not begin with a cheery joint statement assuring the public they were committed to co-parenting their 2 daughters. Instead, Addison filed her divorce in May and promptly posted about being a single mother on Instagram. Now, she later edited her caption to read co-parent, but we all got the message loud and clear. Now, since then, Jeremy Allen White made a big point of making out with a string of models directly in front of paparazzi. Just before the actor debuted a fling with Spanish pop star Rosalia, news outlets published details from court documents showing that he agreed to be tested for substances 5 times a week and attended AA meetings just so he could maintain shared custody of his daughters. So Gypsy Rose and Ryan Scott Anderson separated just 3 months after her release from prison. Gypsy confirmed that news in a statement, saying, "People have been asking what's going on in my life. Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation and I moved in with my parents. I have the support of my family and friends to help guide me through this. I am learning to listen to my heart. Right now I need time to let myself find who I am." Well, here's the thing. After this whole split was announced, Gypsy Rose and former partner Kent Urker sparked reconciliation rumors. Technically, those rumors were sparking before the breakup, because at one point, his mother, Marina Williams, confirmed that the two got lunch and went to a tattoo parlor together and got matching tattoos. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we're back together. And then they're expecting their first offspring together. So while serving time in prison for her role in the end of life of her mother, Dee Dee, Gypsy was in a relationship with Urker. He started off as a pen pal. And although he's largely stayed out of the spotlight, Gypsy's revealed a couple of details about him and their relationship over the years. In her Lifetime docuseries, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she got very candid about the relationship, saying he was one of her first major heartbreaks, and now TBD, I guess. According to news outlets, Natalie Portman quietly filed for divorce from Benjamin Millepied last July, but their split was only finalized back in February of this year. And this was all confirmed, both parties, both reps, everybody who had something to say. According to a source, it was initially really tough for Natalie, but her friends rallied around her, helped her get through the worst of it. She was coming out of a really tough and painful year, but she's come out of the other side of it stronger, finding joy in her family, friends, and work. So the divorce came after news outlets broke the news that the choreographer had allegedly cheated on Natalie with a young climate activist named Camille. And by young, I mean like half his age. So when you consider the fact that technically the whole Natalie and Benjamin relationship started possibly under cheating circumstances on the Black Swan set. Look folks, once a cheater, always a cheater. According to unconfirmed reports, Benjamin was living with his former partner, ballet dancer Isabella Boylston, in 2009 and left her for Natalie Portman. In a 2018 interview, Natalie Portman said she was in dreamland while filming the physically demanding drama because she was getting to know Benjamin at the same time. She called the early stages of the relationship romantic because they were catching feelings for each other while he was teaching her how to dance. Okay, theater kids, we all know this. Showmance turned romance turned Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott's turbulent relationship was filled with scandal from the get-go. So they were married to other people when they met on the set of their Lifetime movie, Mind Over Matter, in July of 2005, if I remember correctly. Now, Tori Spelling and actor Charlie Sheenan had tied the knot a year earlier, while Dean McDermott had been married for 12 years to actress Mary Jo Eustace. So the Beverly Hills 90210 star revealed in her 2009 memoir, Storytelling, that she and Dean felt an instant connection, and they spent the night together at a hotel after they first met. She said, "It was love at first sight. I fell so hard, then I noticed he had a wedding ring. And oh yeah, I had a husband too." So the two announced their engagement in December of 2005, tied the knot in Fiji in May of 2006, less than a month after their divorces from their ex-spouses were finalized. Then they sparked rumors of a split in 2010 after they were seen fighting in scenes from their show. Now, Tori Spelling later squashed the divorce speculation during an appearance on the Today Show, saying, "We're committed to each other, we're committed to this family. But you know, we work on things just like everybody else." Fast forward March of 2013, she once again slammed reports that the two were heading for divorce. Well, McDermott was accused of cheating on her in December of that year. Emily Goodhand, then 28, told news outlets that the two had a brief affair while he was promoting his show Chopped Canada in Toronto. The following month, he did admit that he had cheated on his wife and entered rehab, saying, "I am truly sorry for the mistakes I have made and for the pain I've caused my family. I take full responsibility for my actions and have voluntarily checked myself into a treatment center to address some health and personal issues. I am grateful to be getting the help I need so I can become the husband and father my family deserves." So the couple's marital woes in the aftermath of this cheating scandal were documented in a reality TV series, True Tori. 2016, McDermott proposed to Spelling again while they were vacationing with her family in Europe. 2018, we got some trouble in paradise. The LA Police Department confirmed that officers had responded to a 911 call at the couple's home. It was a domestic incident, but no crime had been committed. No other details. Well, 2023, the two have separated. It was announced in an Instagram post saying, "It's with great sadness and a very, very heavy heart that after 18 years together that we have decided to go our separate ways and start a new journey of our own." So all of that was finalized earlier this year.
It's official. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have filed for divorce. You heard that right. Ben-Affleck is over. Now, maybe we can stop paying attention to them so much. In an article posted yesterday, sources claim that the couple are once again pushing ahead with divorce after a final attempt at reconciliation in the recent weeks failed. Now, the couple's divorce documents are finalized but not turned in yet, multiple sources have claimed. They finalized the divorce papers with her a month ago, but they are waiting for the right time to drop them, one source close to the duo claimed. At that time, they will release a joint statement that will say how they have much love for each other and how they fought to make it work but couldn't. Now, as you may know, in May, Ben moved out of their joint mansion in Beverly Hills and moved into a rental in Brentwood close to his ex-wife Jennifer Gardner. It was then reported that Ben and J-Lo were selling their $60 million mansion, but just this week, Ben bought a new $20.5 million bachelor pad mansion on J-Lo's birthday. Now, the day after he purchased this house, the Beverly Hills house went on sale publicly for $68 million. The couple, who purchased the 12-bedroom, 24-bathroom home for $60,850,000 in May 2023, initially attempted to sell the property off-market, but clearly that didn't work out. Now, J-Lo celebrated her birthday with friends and family last week, but Ben was nowhere to be found. Jen posted a photo of her celebrating and captioned the post, "I've been seeing all of your birthday wishes, beautiful videos, and posts all last night and this morning from all over the world." She began with her caption, "I have laughed, smiled, shed some tears. I really do have the best, most amazing fans in the world. I can never express how moved I am or how incredibly blessed I feel to have all of you be a part of my life." She continued by saying, "It's hard to believe we've spent all this time together. It's funny, as I sit here contemplating on the most extraordinary journey, I still feel like the same girl starting out, so full of energy and bravado, so ready to take on the whole world outside, and yet so tender, fragile, and sometimes frightened, but always full of love on the inside." She then told her fans that they're her biggest gift on her birthday besides her friends and family, which includes her 16-year-old twins, whom she shares with her ex-husband Mark Anthony. "You've always been there for me in the good times and in the tough times." Now, a source recently told People that her summer isn't exactly what she originally had planned, but she's making the best of it. "She's always been grateful for family time," the source said. "She had a great weekend with family and friends. She loves entertaining and enjoyed her birthday bash. She was in a happy mood." Now, the couple, Jen and Ben, haven't actually been spotted in public together for a while. The last time they were spotted together, the couple, joined by Ben's mom, were supporting the actor's son Samuel at his basketball game. Now, as the pair walked in, Jen leaned forward to give Ben a slightly forced-looking kiss on the cheek, and Ben appeared to tense up, and it didn't look like he enjoyed it at all. Ben put his hand around J-Lo, but his hand never made fully contact with her lower back. Now, it also seemed like he may have dodged a full-on kiss on the lips based on the off-kilter nature of his embrace. Now, as they walked up the steps of the venue, Ben stayed at least 5 feet apart from J-Lo, who ventured ahead. Ben then took a moment to speak to his mom, looking more at ease before waving his hand at photographers, and then they all went inside. Now, people noticed their absence from each other's lives when Ben did not attend the Met Gala, which Jennifer was a co-chair of, or when they didn't spend Mother's Day together. Now, Jennifer even canceled her world tour to spend time with friends and family, but she and Ben have since spent the summer apart. Jennifer has largely lived on the East Coast and traveled around the world, while Ben remained at home in Los Angeles. Now, J-Lo sent a special message to her fans via her On the J-Lo newsletter, telling them of her canceling the tour. "I'm completely heartsick and devastated about letting you down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel it was absolutely necessary. I promise I will make it up to you and we will all be together again. I love you all so much. Until next time." Now, representatives for Live Nation announced that the summer tour, This Is Me Live, was canceled, saying in a statement, "Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends." Now, sources insisted that pulling the plug was not due to poor ticket sales, but rather for personal reasons and wanting to be with her kids. This tour was in support of her latest studio album, This Is Me Now, which was released in February. But now Ticketmaster is automatically refunding fans who purchased tickets through their website. J-Lo first announced the tour in the middle of February, initially as the This Is Me Now tour, and a week later 3 shows were added, but then the name of the tour was mysteriously rebranded in April. It had initially been called This Is Me Now after her latest album, in which she sang about her journey to a rekindled love with Ben. In March, though, she raised some eyebrows when she and her team decided to cancel 7 shows from her tour without any explanation. Now, the tour's name had changed to This Is Me Live: The Greatest Hits. Now, not to mention, her new album debuted at a disappointing 38 on the Billboard 200. Regardless, it just didn't seem like she'd want to sing those songs about Ben anyways, so it makes sense that she would cancel. Then, of course, there were issues with their marriage. It said that J.Lo was trying to convince Ben to have a child with her, and that she had some insane rules about his diet, what women he could talk to, and their life. It seemed like J.Lo was very controlling, and that wasn't something Ben wanted. There was also the fact that Jen created an entire album, movie, and documentary about private love letters Ben wrote to her. She didn't tell Ben about it, and he was shocked and uncomfortable because he is a very private person. Privacy is a part of the reason why they broke up in the early 2000s, because they got so much media attention and J.Lo ate it up, while Ben wanted to hide from all of it. Now, things are not looking good for the couple, as a source from Radar Online said that J.Lo wants half of Ben's nearly $150 million fortune, even though herself is worth much more, about $400 million. Now, she sees this move as a way for her to get back at him, claiming that she handled more of the financial responsibilities during their short-lived marriage. A person with knowledge of the matter suggests that Jennifer spent more money during their brief period together. The insider alleges J.Lo, who recently canceled her expensive Los Angeles residency, took on the majority of the financial responsibility. They depict Ben as a huge cheapskate who constantly complained about Lopez's spending habits. Now, apparently, to avoid his grumbling, Jen covered most expenses to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. One of the little-known secrets is that Jennifer paid for much of their marital expenses, and now she feels he owes her, the source claimed. She's adding up all those private jet bills she puts on her plastic, the hotels and meals, clothes, coffee runs, gas. The high cost of living was done on her dime. She paid the lion's share for the $60 million mansion they bought too, they added. Ben took so much money out of her, at least that's what she's saying. Now, she can take some money from him too if she wants to, because they didn't get a prenup, which was a big mistake. OK Magazine said that when the pair wedded in Las Vegas, they didn't tie up their assets. According to a source, Jen's love for Ben was so unconditional at the time that she didn't see a prenup as necessary. Rumor has it that this wasn't the case in the first phase of their relationship. When the pair came together, a prenup was allegedly on the table, and it was claimed that their original prenup not only protected their assets, but protected their relationship from infidelity. The contract stated that the pair were able to keep both of their money except if Ben cheated. If he stepped out, it would effectively nullify their prenup, putting his fortune at risk. I guess it's a matter of time for when they decide to submit the paperwork, but I mean, what are they waiting for? It seems like Bennifer is finally over, and everyone who said they wouldn't last were right. Recently, a contract has been leaked saying that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's relationship is fake, and that they're breaking up soon. Now, Taylor has finally spoken out about the situation. Earlier in the week, a document was leaked that said that Travis and Taylor's relationship was fake. It then discussed that they were going to break up and how they would go about the situation with important talking notes. Now, the paperwork was created by a Los Angeles-based firm, Full Scope, and it outlined a supposed plan to release an official statement at the end of this month, 3 days post-breakup, to allow the initial media frenzy to settle and ensure clarity. The date for the breakup was set for September 28th, which is just weeks away. Now, the document states that the announcement will be gracious, respectful, and stress mutual respect. Laying out what the statement would say, they write, example, Travis and Taylor have decided to part ways after careful consideration. They both value each other's personal lives and appreciate your respect for privacy during this time. They're both committed to their careers and personal growth. They remain friends and wish each other the best. Now, the paperwork also states that the announcement would focus on Travis's personal growth by framing the breakup as a natural part of life. It will also highlight his commitment to his career and his ongoing achievements in the sports industry. They also plan to send it to major media outlets with a press release to ensure broad coverage. Now, some people were shocked by these documents being released and finding out the couple's relationship was fake, but others saw it coming. Since the pair were first spotted together, fans have claimed that the relationship was fake. fake. Now, Taylor has been the subject of discussion about fake relationships before, so this wasn't a shock to a lot of people. People really don't have a problem with the documents being released. It was more of the fact that Travis's team got lawyers involved, which made the story even bigger than it needed to be. Everyone now knows about this, but if they didn't make such a big deal out of it, it would have been swept under the rug with only other Swifties knowing about it. But now, the whole world does. Now, there are a group of Taylor Swift fans who call themselves gaylers, who believe that Taylor is a lesbian and that she dates famous men to cover up her sexuality. Now, Taylor has alluded to this before, and fans are convinced that she's been leaving a lot of hints about this and that she's had many failed coming outs. So the fact that her relationship with Travis is supposedly fake did not come as a shock to them. One fan wrote, "Does anyone really believe she actually dated Jake Gyllenhaal, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris, John Mayer, the Kennedy kid, and I can't remember who else? She dated the last guy who was private because she was trying to lay low after Kanye. Apparently he also got songwriting credits. These are arrangements. I knew she would date an athlete next because there are no more actors left in her age range. The bracelet thing was a bat signal. I think her mistake was not going for a Josh Allen or Joe Burrow type. It would have been more believable than Travis, but they're not as thrust for fame. I would say no chemistry with Travis too, but she lacks chemistry with all the guys she dates." Now, another fan added, "So true, all the people you have mentioned are well known and successful in one way or another. Calvin and Harry especially are now mega wealth." Now, it appears that a lot of fans aren't too shocked about this revelation of the relationship being fake. Now, this isn't the first time Taylor has been accused of being in a PR relationship. It's been said that Taylor and Tom Hiddleston were in a PR relationship to avert attention away from her breakup with Calvin Harris back in 2016. Now, they dated briefly for around 3 months before calling it quits in September 2016. But Calvin Harris has actually alluded to being in a relationship with Taylor contractually, not because they were in love. Now, there are theories all over the internet saying that none of her male relationships were real, and people are going back and forth on proof. Not to mention, her being in a PR relationship with someone as great as Travis Kelce would be a smart move. Now, after Taylor broke up with her boyfriend Joe Alwyn of 6 years, she then began to date the 1975's lead singer Maddie Healy. Her relationship with him came under a lot of scrutiny because Maddie doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to his relationships, his fans, or really his personality. A lot of Swifties were actually upset that they were dating and wrote an open letter to Taylor telling her to break up with him. Weird, I know, but she got a lot of pushback from being with him. So dating Travis afterwards makes her look good and makes us forget about the mess her summer romance was with Maddie. Now, the documents titled "A Comprehensive Media Plan for Travis Kelce's Relations Following Breakup with Taylor Swift" are entirely false and fabricated, a representative for Full Scope, the company that runs PR for Kelce, tells People. These documents are entirely false and fabricated and were not created, issued, or authorized by this agency, the company said. But in 2019, on an Australian podcast called The Quickie, Travis's PR manager said fake romances are generally put together if a celebrity has a film or new project to promote or to distract from bad publicity. He admitted to staging at least 2 relationships during his career, having used them as a tool to distract people from negative headlines. While he didn't name names, the Hollywood Insider said it's not uncommon for stars to sign a love contract, which requires them to date for at least a year. Now, he explained that fake relationships were once used to cover up the fact that a popular actor was gay, but now it's all about generating buzz. And well, over the past year, there's been so much buzz around the couple. Taylor has gained more popularity with the male audience, and most people think what she's gotten in return is to hide her sexuality. Travis, on the other hand, has gained a lot of things during this relationship. Travis has grown in popularity as he has starred in many commercials and has gotten a lot of new jobs. Travis is hosting a brand new TV show, is starring in a new Ryan Murphy project, and also received a $1 million contract with Amazon for his podcast New Heights, which he co-hosts with his brother Jason Kelce. Not to mention, the NFL has gotten something out of it too. When Taylor attends a game, more women have been watching the sport, and it's gotten their viewership up. Now, the NFL has actually played into this, using Taylor for promotional services. Now, a statement has been released from sources close to Taylor. Despite the claims of a breakup, the singer and sportsman are rock solid, according to insiders, who told DailyMail.com that they are planning to mark their alleged split by planning something super special as a result of the fake contract. fact. Taylor was unbothered and quite amused by this, the source said. She usually pays these things no mind at all, but this was some hilarious AI realness. It isn't even worth an actual reaction from her or her team. She and Travis had a good laugh over it, and his camp only got lawyers involved because it is his PR firm listed on the document. They continue by saying after learning that their breakup date is coming up soon, September 28th, they now need to plan something super special and fun on that day to commemorate. Coincidentally, September 28th is around the first NFL game of the season, and it's also National Beer Drinking Day, so that makes a good date night for sure, they said. Now, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens on the 28th of September. Until Taylor or Travis directly addresses this, we'll just have to assume that everything is okay. But if they do break up, that means all this is fake, which leads to even more questions.
We should have known that Miley and Liam wouldn't last. Miley has always been a firecracker of a woman, and Liam has always felt more like chill. They were a really cute couple though. They starred in the film The Last Song together in 2009, that's also how they met. They dated for a bit in 2009, then broke up in 2010, then got back together later in the year, then break up, just as usual, like an on again, off again kind of deal. They did get engaged in 2012, but it wasn't exactly smooth sailing. There were lots of rumors the pair had broken up, the wedding got postponed until eventually the whole thing was called off. In this break is when Miley tweeted the famous, "I want to see the new Hunger Games, but that means I'll have to look at my ex for 2 hours" tweet. I love this tweet. This is referencing Liam's role as Gale in the Hunger Games trilogy. The pair eventually got back together in 2016 and got engaged again, and then finally in 2018 are married. Even this new chapter of this relationship had some signs. There was that video from the Avengers Endgame red carpet where Liam said something to Miley that caused her to push him off. Many people think he said something like, "Could you behave for once?" The pair divorced a few months after this carpet. Without Miley Cyrus dating Liam Hemsworth, we never would have gotten the banger Flowers, and Miley never would have received her first Grammy, so it all worked out in the end. Technically, Taylor Swift and Matty Healy never confirmed they dated, but they were seen out together a lot. And Taylor's relationship announcements have never been a big, "Hello world, we are dating." It's always been more speculation until it's a couple months in, then she'll give hints and do public displays. Maddie and Taylor were only seen around each other for about a month to maybe 2 months. Before this, the pair were just friends, we know that for sure. People thought the pair were dating because they were spotted out at a bunch of restaurants. Taylor randomly performed at a 1975 concert, and Maddie was spotted at the Eras tour a few nights. This is also similar to what happened with Travis Kelce and Joe Alwyn, minus the surprise performance of course, so that's why everyone was looking at this pair extra close. The thing is, Matty Healy has an on-stage persona that is controversial to say the least. He famously did the Yahtzee with an N salute on stage. It was supposed to be satire, apparently. He also made some racially insensitive remarks about Ice Spice, who is friends with Taylor and collaborated with her on Karma. Taylor and Maddie were rumored to be dating way back in 2014, around Taylor's 1989 era. It also produced a quote from Maddie that came back to haunt him. He said it would be emasculating to date Taylor. Taylor's fans were not the happiest about this particular relationship, and because of this, Taylor and Maddie stopped appearing in public together pretty quick. We still don't know if they were actually dating or not. I guess we'll never know. Billie Eilish and Jesse Rutherford started dating in 2022, first seen together in a romantic setting on October 13th. People were quick to comment on their age gap and also Billie's young age in general. They have a 10-year age gap, and Billie was about 20 or 21 when they started dating, but they had known each other since she was 15 years old at least. Lots of people saw that as a little weird. Their Halloween costume from 2022 had people talking. All the comments people made about their age gap, they seemed to use as inspiration, with Billie going as a baby and Jesse as an old man. Many people thought it was a weird choice. So there's a lot of criticism towards this couple from the outside, but there were also signs from the inside too. On her 2021 album Happier Than Ever, Billie has a track called Your Power. It is about people taking advantage of younger people in relationships and those with power over someone else using it to their advantage to hurt the other person in some way. Of course, this is just what fans have gathered from the lyrics. The song features lyrics like, "She was sleeping in your clothes, but now she's got to get to class," and "You swear you didn't know, you said you thought she was your age." The song was released about a year before Jesse came into the picture, and many people expressed that fact, wondering why Billie got into a relationship with such a big age gap when she's seemingly written that she wasn't fond of them. The pair were only together for about 8 months, but are
on good terms, as confirmed by Billie on her Instagram story. Like Billie and Jesse, Olivia Rodrigo was also in a relationship that had people looking twice at the age gap. This one wasn't as bad, I guess, but it still was amazing by any means. She was 18 when they started dating and he was 24, so only 6 years. While that's not as big of a gap as we've seen elsewhere, it's not small either, and many Olivia fans were concerned as the pair were first spotted out together in June and Olivia had just turned 18 a few months ago. It was all around just a situation that rubbed people the wrong way. So again, this couple has a lot of outside pressure and criticism against them, plus Olivia Rodrigo is a major Taylor Swift fan, that is no secret. Taylor famously dated, then allegedly wrote her album Speak Now about John Mayer. That relationship was also one with a big age gap, with the girl being very young. Maybe Olivia heard Taylor's warnings in the songs. The two leading stars of the Disney Channel original film High School Musical, Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron, famously dated. This was the Brangelina of my childhood. I remember learning about what actors were, and then learning that not only was my favorite couple dating in the movie, but also in real life. They were like the royal family to me. Still, they were so young when they met and started dating, plus they weren't your regular small town high school sweethearts. They lived in Hollywood. They were making movies. Being that young and probably having to spend so much time apart would put a strain on any relationship. Zac and Vanessa were together about 5 years before calling it quits. E! News had some inside sources confirm the breakup wasn't dramatic like the scenes from the movies, nothing like Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2. The insider also noted that they were together for so long it just ran its course. Disney has a track record of encouraging the stars of their various shows and movies to date. It happened with Dove Cameron and her ex Ryan McCartan, Joe Jonas and Demi Lovato. Zac and Vanessa were both 18 while filming High School Musical, and there was all this outside pressure and even proposal rumors that would be enough to put a lot of strain on the relationship. Luckily, it looks like the pair are still on good terms. Vanessa just announced her pregnancy in the Oscars red carpet, then later posted about it on Instagram. Zac commented, "She's killing it. I couldn't be happier for V. Zanessa, you will always be famous." Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling worked together on the iconic film The Notebook and soon brought that chemistry from the silver screen to real life. They dated from 2005 to 2007, but from the beginning their relationship was rocky. Every fan of The Notebook probably remembers the moment they found out that Rachel and Ryan hated each other at the start of filming that movie. Ryan apparently tried to get Rachel fired and even requested that for one scene, Rachel was taken off set and a different actress gets brought in to read her lines. It was serious, okay? Even the director has confirmed that the two did not get along. Movie budgets and timelines are tight though, so there needed to be a fix made here, so apparently Ryan, Rachel, a producer, and the director went in a room together. Ryan and Rachel screamed it out and then they were fine, eventually more than fine. They started dating in 2005, a year after the film came out. They had some pretty iconic moments, for example, when they recreated their iconic Notebook kiss after winning Best Kiss at the MTV Movie and TV Awards. Unfortunately, in 2007, the relationship ended, apparently pretty similar to how it started. Ryan said in an interview that, "The only thing I remember is we both went down swinging and we called it a draw," adding in a later interview that show business is the bad guy. When both people are in show business, it's too much show business. It takes all of the light so nothing else can grow. That's fair. We should have known that their relationship would go out blazing if that's how it started. Another iconic couple born from iconic roles in an iconic franchise. We are talking about Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, Twilight's Bella and Edward. The pair first met in 2007 but didn't officially start dating until 2009, we think. They kissed in 2009. A producer for Twilight did an interview with Time in 2010 in which he said that he hopes the pair stay together through filming the remainder of the movies. 2 more left, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a relationship. It would suck if you thought a relationship had run its course, but you felt you had to stay together to not mess up a big movie franchise. There was some infidelity on Kristen's part that a former president actually weighed in on. Sure enough, the pair did stay together until just after the last Twilight film came out. Years later, Kristen did say in an interview that she felt her relationship with Robert had been made into a product, so it really shouldn't have come as a surprise that as soon as the franchise was done, the two called it quits. They are both so okay now. Kristen is bi and engaged to screenwriter Dylan Mayer, no relation to Stephanie Meyer, author of Twilight. I did look it up because I was like, there's no way. Robert is also engaged to a woman, the actress and singer Suki Waterhouse. They are expecting a child together. Jelena, the it couple of the 2010s, Selena Gomez was a Disney star and starting up her music career, and Justin Bieber was one of the biggest teen heartthrobs of the era. They dated, or were kinda dating, for 8 years before shocking the world when they broke up in 2018. But there were signs. Probably the most neon flashing light sign was that they were so on and off. In the last about 4 years of their relationship, they were taking a lot of breaks. Justin briefly dated now wife Hailey Baldwin during one of those splits. This is kind of like Zach and Vanessa. They were both so young and they had so much pressure on them from the outside. I also remember lots of people were caught up with their age gap. Their age gap was only 2 years. He was 16 when they met and she was 18. It really wasn't that bad. Their love story was an exciting one to follow. Justin literally rented out an entire stadium so the two could watch a movie together. The pair were seen on what is thought to be their first date in 2010. Things went relatively smoothly until 2014. This is the year Justin was arrested and Selena checked into rehab for lupus. They were split up by this point. Justin dates a bunch of models, Selena some other music artists, but then they get seen together again and are apparently back together in 2017. But by 2018, they are really over because Justin gets married. Although Justin apparently, allegedly, called Selena before the wedding 23 times. Obviously, we don't have the tapes to really prove it, but Selena hinted at the then rumor in her song Ring, so it's up to you what you want to think. Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande had a whirlwind of a romance back in 2018. The pair only dated for about 6 months and almost got married, but it didn't start on the most solid foundation, so it's no wonder they didn't last. Pete had been in a relationship with fellow comedian and writer Cassie David before dating Ariana, like a day before Pete first stepped out with Ariana. Pete and Cassie had decided to take a break for about 2 weeks. Cassie called Pete after the first couple days though, saying she wanted to work things out, but he wanted to continue the break. He broke up with her over text 2 days later, then a day after, Pete and Ariana were out together. It was a messy timeline, that's for sure, and it did not make Ariana and Pete look too good. Pete and Ariana ended up calling it quits because Ariana wasn't taking the passing of Mac Miller so well, so there wasn't any bad blood in the initial breakup. That came after. Ariana said in Vogue that she considered Pete to be a distraction, and Pete responded equally as publicly in his Netflix comedy special. The entire relationship moved pretty quick. The pair moved in together a month-ish after beginning to date, with the engagement happening around the same time. They just also happened to move quickly into the breakup phase too. Kim and Kanye used to be the top Hollywood couple. Whether you like them or not, you couldn't deny their star power. No marriage is perfect, of course, but they seem to be doing pretty good. So their split came as a bit of a surprise when it was announced in 2021 that the couple was getting divorced. The show Keeping Up with the Kardashians shed some light on why exactly the couple split up, and they make sense. I'm surprised that we, the public, didn't see this coming. Kim shared with her sisters that she does think Kanye is an amazing dad, but he moves around so much and she can't keep up with that side of him. She needs to stay where she is. There was also the harsh and aggressive tweets Kanye directed towards Kim's mom, Kris Jenner. Kanye has always been known to act a bit unhinged. There was the Taylor Swift mic incident at the VMAs that he said God told him to do, manipulating that infamous phone conversation with Taylor Swift, seemingly supportive tweets toward a convicted SA perpetrator, portraying various celebrities nude, some without their consent, and sharing his controversial opinions on the experience of black people in America. There were just a lot of things that make you go, okay Kim, I get it.
Number 10. Liza Koshy and David Dobrik. I remember the cultural reset this announcement caused. I mean, at first I thought it was a joke. There was no way that these two would ever break up. Well, you know, it wasn't a joke. And thank goodness, because after their breakup, Liza's career skyrocketed and David's, well, you know David. The two started dating in 2015 on the rise of both of their YouTube fame. David and his vlog squad, and Liza with the colorful array of characters she manufactured herself. They would frequently appear in each other's videos and were definitely one of the happiest seeming couples. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. In 2018, the infamous breakup video dropped. The pair said that their breakup was amicable and that they had had decided a couple months prior that they would simply be better off as platonic friends. Number 9. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. This star-powered pair first met in 2004 while filming their movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, while Brad was married to Jennifer Aniston. Rumors of a relationship began to circle on set, and shortly after the movie, Pitt and Aniston announced their separation after 5 years of marriage. By July of 2005, the pair was spotted together and confirmed their relationship. 10 years after meeting, the two got married in 2014. However, you could call their wedding the calm before the storm. Jolie filed for divorce from Pitt in 2016, citing irreconcilable differences and providing no comments to news outlets or prying eyes, which she did for the privacy of her family. She's an amazing mother and a fantastic woman. Icon for life, honestly. Number 8. Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder. Ian Somerhalder and Nina Dobrev shared the screen for 6 seasons as Damon Salvatore and Elena Gilbert on The Vampire Diaries. Interestingly, their on-screen chemistry extended to real life as they became romantically involved from 2010 to 2013, despite Dobrev's initial intention to maintain a strictly professional approach on set. In an interview with 17 in October 2012, Dobrev confessed that she resisted the idea of dating a co-star, but acknowledged that sometimes connections were inevitable. Throughout their relationship, the couple kept a relatively low profile, occasionally giving glimpses of their romance during trips and music festivals. Despite parting ways in 2013, they managed to sustain both a professional and personal connection after the breakup. Number 7. Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter. Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter shared a unique and definitely eccentric partnership, both in their professional and romantic lives. Their collaboration began on the set of Planet of the Apes in 2001 and extended to 8 films, including some of my favorite movies like Corpse Bride and Todd. Despite their long collaboration and personal connection, the couple chose not to marry, opting for a distinctive living arrangement in London's Belsize Park. They maintained separate houses, joined by a hallway, with Bonham Carter revealing in 2010 that the decision was due to the small size of her home. She explained that the arrangement of separate living allowed them to balance togetherness with personal space, jokingly adding that Burton's snoring was a noteworthy aspect of their unconventional housing situation. While their professional collaboration was incredible and extremely successful, Bonham Carter still acknowledged that it wasn't always smooth sailing. In an interview, she admitted that her working relationship had its challenges, particularly during the filming of Sweeney Todd, where the two were known to often argue. The couple, parents to 2, eventually separated in 2014, ending their extraordinary cinematic and personal journey together. Number 6. Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson, an iconic couple from 2008 to 2011, shared a very high-profile marriage before parting ways. In a candid interview with Time Out New York in December 2009, Johansson disclosed the challenges of balancing their hectic schedules. She emphasized the difficulties in their respective profession and the struggle to allocate time for family amidst their demanding careers. This revelation must have marked a turning point as the couple officially announced their separation in 2010, finalizing their divorce in July of 2011. While the end of their marriage was undoubtedly a significant chapter, it paved the way for personal and professional growth for both of them. Post-divorce, Ryan Reynolds found love anew, tying the knot with Blake Lively in 2012, and thank goodness, because they're my favorite celebrity couple. They are so funny and their tweets are so, I love them. They make me believe in love. Is that sad? I don't know. I have divorced parents, whatever. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson entered a new chapter by marrying Saturday Night Live head writer Colin Jost in 2020. It was a happy ending for everyone. Number 5. Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet, once the epitome of a relaxed and harmonious couple, revealed their separation in 2022, marking the end of their nearly 17-year-long relationship. The couple, known for prioritizing their blended family, included Bonet's ex-husband Lenny Kravitz and daughter Zoe Kravitz, along with their shared children Lola and Nakoa Wolf. Momoa had long harbored admiration for Bonet, dating back to his childhood when he first saw her on The Cosby Show. Their paths crossed in 2005 at a jazz club, and the pair welcomed their first child together 2 years later. Despite keeping their marriage under wraps until 2017, the couple stunned fans fans by announcing their separation after nearly 5 years of marriage in January 2022. Insiders revealed that the decision to part ways was not abrupt, emphasizing that the couple had been amazing for years until they no longer were. Number 4. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. After a 4-year marriage and the birth of 2 children, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner decided to end their relationship. The formalities of their separation were set in motion when Jonas filed for a dissolution of marriage from Turner on September 5, 2023, citing irreparable breakdown as the grounds for their parting ways. Addressing the end of their union, the couple took to Instagram the next day to reveal that the decision was a mutual one. Their romantic relationship began in 2016 when Sophie and Jonas connected through Instagram DMs. Despite initial reservations on Turner's part, an evening at a British pub brought them closer, leading to Jonas proposing a year later. In 2019, the couple celebrated their commitment with 2 ceremonies, a surprise event in Las Vegas and a grand affair in the French countryside. Turner once expressed that marriage had only strengthened their bond, providing a profound sense of security. The couple's family grew with the arrival of daughters Willa in 2020 and Delphine in 2022. Despite the joys and public declarations of love, the journey has reached its end and custody battles have ensued, and it doesn't really seem like they're all too happy with each other anymore. Number 3. Amy Poehler and Will Arnett. The paths of actors Amy Poehler and Will Arnett first crossed in the 1990s when Arnett witnessed a performance by Poehler's improv group in New York City, which just, wow, what a sentence. Although Arnett was smitten by Poehler, the two didn't embark on a romantic journey until friends reintroduced them to each other in 2000. Their professional lives became intertwined as they collaborated on various projects, ranging from portraying unconventional siblings in Blades of Glory to making guest appearances on each other's TV shows, Poehler on Parks and Recreation and Arnett on Arrested Development, which, I mean, both hilarious. Those are 2 of my favorite shows, especially Arrested Development, because Will Arnett's character Joe, fantastic, fantastic. In 2003, the couple exchanged vows, marking Poehler's inaugural marriage and Arnett's second after a brief stint with Penelope Ann Miller. The union blossomed into a family with the arrival of their 2 sons, Archie and Abel. Despite parting ways in 2012, Poehler and Arnett remained dedicated co-parents, retaining an amicable relationship. God, they must have been so funny together. What I would do to have been to a dinner party. That is, be so good. Okay. Number 2. Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. This amazing pair initially crossed paths as co-stars in The Amazing Spider-Man, where they co-starred as Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, where they experienced a real-life romance mirroring their on-screen connection. Over a span of 4 years, they navigated their relationship through the filming of another Spider-Man installment and embarked on a global journey together for press. Despite their eventual breakup and subsequent individual pursuits, with Stone now happily married with a child and Garfield romantically linked to model Alyssa Miller, the bond they share endures. Retaining a genuine friendship, the 2 openly express their continued affection and admiration for one another. In a 2016 interview with Vogue, Stone conveyed that Garfield remains someone I still love very much. Garfield reciprocated the sentiment the following year in Vanity Fair, emphasizing the abundance of love and respect between them, asserting himself as her biggest fan as an artist. And his shot of espresso speech could bring me to tears. I would fold immediately if anyone ever spoke to me that way, or of me, I guess. Number 1. Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez. In October 2023, the divorce of Dalton and Ari was finalized, which followed their publicized separation in July of last year. Oh my god, and it's last year now, that's insane. Grande and Gomez's relationship began during 2020 as they spent a considerable amount of time together, nurturing their connection. Despite the challenges posed by the global state at this time, Gomez proposed to Grande in December of 2020. On May 17th, 2021, it was confirmed that Grande and Gomez had secretly exchanged vows in their California home. Unfortunately, their union came to an end shortly after their 2-year anniversary mark. By July 20th, 2023, reports emerged that Grande had entered a new romantic chapter with her Wicked co-star Lynn Slater. Sources disclosed that Grande and Slater began dating after her separation from Dalton in January. The relationship was described as recent, marked by fun and enjoyment of each other's company, although there was no official confirmation or announcement of a separation or divorce involving Slater and his wife beyond People's initial report.